Hey everyone, I'm Kim, and welcome to The Brave Bookshelf, the podcast where we explore the stories that help kids and teens tackle life's toughest topics. If you're a teacher, counselor, librarian, parent, or just someone who believes books can spark big conversations, you're in the right place. Grab a cozy seat, maybe a snack, definitely a book, and let's dig into today's Brave Read.
No, anxiety creeps up on me.
So, anxiety. If anxiety were a person, it would be that neighbor who pops over uninvited, stands in your doorway and says, "Hello, neighbor. Just checking in if everything's okay. Don't worry. I can help you imagine 12 scenarios where it is a disaster." Anxiety shows up in many ways for kids. Stomach aches, silence, avoidance, meltdowns, or what I call the koala grip, where they cling to you like you're the last safe tree on the planet. The important thing to remember is that anxiety isn't misbehavior. It's the nervous system trying to protect them. It's just sometimes overreacts. Kids need vocabulary, tools, and a safe way to talk about what they're feeling. And the easiest doorway to those conversations is through books. Today's featured book is What to Do When You Worry Too Much by Don Huebner. So, Don Huebner is a clinical psychologist and best-selling author and internationally recognized expert in childhood anxiety. She has spent over 30 years helping kids understand and manage big emotions, and her What to Do When series is used worldwide by therapists, school counselors, psychologists, teachers, and parents. Her work has been featured in the New York Times, CNN, the Washington Post, and the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. She has a rare gift for translating evidence-based anxiety tools into fun, accessible activities for kids. That's why this book works so well. It teaches kids that worries grow when we feed them, shrink when we talk about them, and lose their power when we give them a funny name. My son gave his anxiety a funny name. He named his worry Sir Nervous Nilly, and Sir Nervous Nilly didn't stand a chance after that. How can adults use this book? Here are simple ways parents, teachers, professionals can do a worry creature activity. Have your child or children draw their worry as a creature and give it a name. Externalizing the worry gives kids power. You could do a calm corner. I know many schools now do have this in their classrooms, a small area to calm down with sensory tools. Books there, and I have a list of books that could be added to this calm corner. Morning meeting starters, like K through 5th grade, you can start out by reading a page out of this book or any of the other books that I have in my list. And then some counseling tools. And when I say counseling, as a parent, you are a teacher, a counselor, you do it all. These books are great and fantastic warm-ups and one-on-one sessions with anxious kids. You read the story, they can identify with the story, you can bring up some great questions to ask them afterwards once you get done reading.
No, anxiety creeps up on me. Is this how it's supposed to feel?
As a bonus, I have collected a Brave Bookshelf Anxiety book list. And right now I'm going to go ahead and go through and highlight some of my favorites. I'm going to start with picture books. Picture books for children from ages, I think you can start at 0 up to age 8, sometimes older. Some older kids like picture books as well. My first pick is Scaredy Squirreled by Melanie Watt. It's a hilarious, anxious squirrel avoids everything because he thinks the world is full of danger until an unexpected leap forces him to face his fears. This is perfect for showing younger kids how worry can exaggerate dangers and how bravery grows one small step at a time. The next book I added, and I want to highlight right now, is Wimberly Worried by Kevin Hinkes. Wimberly worried about absolutely everything. Big things, small things, imaginary things, you name it. But when she starts school and meets a friend who is just like her, she learns she's not alone in her worries. This is a sweet and relatable story for anxious little ones. And then the next one is After the Fall with Dan Santet. What happened to Humpty Dumpty after his great fall? In this emotional, hopeful story, Humpty works through fear fear and anxiety to rediscover his courage. This is a powerful metaphor about getting back up after something scary or life-changing has happened to you. Now on to the middle grade books. Middle grade, I would say, ranges from ages 8 depending 13. Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand. When Finley is sent to live with her extended family, she copes with anxiety and sadness by escaping into a forest kingdom she invents, Everwood. But real-world tension and family secrets force her to confront her feelings. This is a beautifully layered mix of fantasy and emotional honesty, and I think would be a great conversation starter about anxiety. The next one is The List of Unspeakable Fears by J. Casper Kramer. This one's set in the 1910s. This historical middle grade novel follows Essie, whose overwhelming fears intensify when she moves to an isolated island. There's eerie setting mirrors her inner panic as she begins to face what terrifies her. And this is great for middle graders dealing with intrusive worries. And then I've gone to the young adult category. And young adult, I would say, ranges from 12 and up. Really depends on the reader and your reader's maturity level. The best one here is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Asa struggles with spiraling thoughts and compulsive worries that take over her daily life. This story offers one of the most honest portrayals of anxiety and OCD in young adult fiction that I've found. And this story does really well with following her relationships. There's a detective adventure in there to keep it entertaining. The next one I really enjoyed was I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. After coming out as a non-binary, Ben is thrown into emotional turmoil and anxiety when their parents reject them. It's very heartbreaking, but with the help of new friends, a supportive sister, and therapy, Ben begins to heal. This is a very quiet, tender story about identity, fear, and finding safe people. You can download the full PDF book list, which I have additional books that I didn't mention here, and then I also have some notes on there that you can look at. Once you read the books, you have them all together, you sit down your child and What do I ask my kids? So I'm here to help you. I have some brave conversation questions. Here are 4 that I found that help my children and my kiddos open up after reading an anxiety-related book. The first one is, if your worry had a voice, what would it say? And this one's fun because you can give your worry a silly voice, like, "Wow, how are you?" And when you make it sound silly and stupid, then that's what it is. You've conquered your worry. When does your worry talk the loudest? This is a great question, and I can tell you when my worry talks the loudest, and I'm sure most people can relate. It's in the evening, like right before you go to bed. We've all been there. We've laid in our bed worrying about the day, worrying about what tomorrow's going to bring. And then it builds and builds and your anxiety just takes over. I found it's a great time for parents to read these stories is at night before you go to bed. And to help calm that worry, because we all know, I think that's the traditional place where worry talks the loudest. Another question is, what helps your worry shrink even a little bit? For me, I do a lot of yoga, walks, write, keep a journal. You could give your child ideas, or I'm sure your child probably has ways that they already cope with worry. Sometimes build those coping mechanisms in without even realizing it. And then after you read your book, ask which character in the story felt most like the child, most like you. And that's an easy way to identify with the character and see how that character has worked through their problems. Hey, I can do the same thing. I can apply those solutions. Books make these conversations easier and less intimidating for kids. So the more you do it, the better it is. Thanks for spending time with me on the Brave Bookshelf. If today's episode helped you or gave you a few new ideas, be sure to follow the show and share it with a fellow book lover or child professional. You can find more Brave reads, discussion guides, and resources at kimbartosh.com. Until next time, keep reading, keep talking, and keep being brave.
No, anxiety creeps up on me. Is this how it's supposed to feel? Tell me when it's over. I got someplace that I gotta be. It won't leave. My friends say, get out of your comfort zone. It's a